Now we begin with an update from the Rivers State Local Government Council elections, where the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Wike, has hinted that Governor Siminalayi Fubara and members of the State House of Assembly will return on September 18 when the state of emergency in Rivers will elapse. Wike stated this on Saturday shortly after casting his vote in the ongoing local government election in the state. Now, the minister voted at polling unit 9, Ward 9 in Rumwe Pericon community in Obiakpo local government area of the state. Now, the former Rivers governor described the election as very peaceful compared to other elections in the state. Meanwhile, Arise News gathered that suspended Rivers State Governor Fubara and some of his cabinet members did not vote in the election for fear of legitimizing the polls, which has become controversial, with some leaders in the state saying that the military administrator, Ibok Etebas, should not be the one conducting such polls. Let's listen to Wike.
I said that that party, that is not correct. We should have the experience of Nigerian voters in elections. You have general elections, which is being conducted by INEC. You have local elections, which is being conducted by the State Independent Electoral Commission. And you know that most cases, elections start from 10 o'clock in the morning. So when you go to a polling booth by 9 and you think you expect people to come out by that time, that is not the usual case. So we're very happy that this election has, at the end of the day, that have been conducted very peacefully and successfully. I do know that by 18th of September that the state of emergency will expire, and then that will mean that the state governor and the state assembly will come back to their jobs, and they will have representatives at the grassroots level. Remember, the Supreme Court had nullified the other election, and so if this election was not conducted, it will mean that there will be no representative at the grassroots level, which would not be, acceptable by the people of Rivers State. So, having done this, then the coast is clear for the state of emergency to be lifted, meaning that the local government has representatives, the state government has its own elected representatives. So we're good to go.
Minister of FCT, Wike, there. He's also a former governor of Rivers State. And of course, to bring us more update on what's going on in Rivers State election, local government election, which has ended at the moment, is our correspondent, Andy Omano. Thank you so much. Andy, can you tell us exactly where you are at the moment, and has collation started?
Okay, thank you so much, Somna. We are just back into Port Harcourt City. Precisely, we are in somewhere called, what's it called, Rumu Alakahia in Port Harcourt City local government area, less than 5 to 7 minutes drive from RISEC headquarters, RISEC, Rivers State Independent National Electoral Commission, where the collation of results are expected this evening. The collation has not started, but the voting, like rightly said in your intro, ended at 4 o'clock. And though, if you look behind me, there is a couple of people moving about, even when the coffee, I should say, was supposed to elapse at about 6 p.m. this evening. That's to tell you that, you know, people who are used to hustling every day, and you keep them at home for not just 2, 4, 6 to 8 hours, they will be uncomfortable. And so people are beginning to move out of their houses to see what they can do with the rest part of the day. But we are expecting that any moment from now, results will start coming from the different 23 local government areas of the state to RISEC headquarters here in Port Harcourt, and the collation will start in earnest. But like rightly also pointed out, the turnout was not as impressive as expected. I must report this. And the voting process did not start at exactly 8 as earlier earmarked by the Electoral Commission. Voting process in a couple of polling booths visited across local government areas started at about 10 past 10 and 11. But by 3 o'clock, before 3 o'clock, everything was more or less tidied because the attendants was not as impressive as expected. But it's not a surprise to those of us who are on ground here. You know, Rivers State politics is enmeshed in so much controversies between 2023 October to be precise, and now when the House of Assembly crisis with the executive started, that led to the declaration of a state of emergency. And so for now, this is where we are. We're expecting that any moment from now or before the hours of 7-8, collation of the election, local government election and councillorship elections conducted in all 23 local government areas in Rivers State would commence at the RISEC headquarters here in Port Harcourt.
All right, Andy, just before we let you go, very quickly, can you explain to us why we are receiving news that former the suspended governor, I must say, Siminalayi Fubara, did not vote? From our news sources, we're hearing that he's afraid of legitimizing the election if he does go to vote. And some cabinet members, too, in the suspended Rivers State executive did not also vote. Can you confirm this? And has he been speaking with you, journalists over there?
Yes, the suspended governor did not actually vote in his unit at Opobo, Ukoro local government area. He did exercise his franchise today, and so many of us who are on ground had looked up to that, to him doing that, especially since the last reconciliation between him and his political godfather, the FCT minister, Wike. But he did not. He did not exercise his franchise. And there are a lot of rumors making the rounds here, some now. That you mentioned is one of them, that it may just be because he stayed away in order not to legitimize the process. More so when many people who queued behind him, campaigned for him, and they were on his side before the reconciliation, said he's going to reconcile. Shouldn't have really been it. But for the governor who had always insisted that there is no price too heavy to pay for there to be peace in Rivers State. I must also report that since that reconciliation, the suspended governor, Sumner, has really not been in circulation, I must say. We've not seen him so often in Rivers, whether privately or, in any social function. The last time we were told he was outside the country, somewhere in London. The other time they said he was in France. So even before this election started, nobody knew where the suspended governor was. And it's not a surprise that he wasn't there, but there are so many stories making the rounds. I think it's only the suspended governor who will be able to tell us why he chose not to vote. But that would depend on when we are able to get him and have a one-on-one interview with him. Sumner.
All right, just before I let you go, very quickly, there are some people who have referred to FCT Minister Nyesom Wike as Governor General. That is a Governor General for him to have come to that election, and he seems to be standing much more taller than even the military administrator in the state, and mobilizing resources into the state. That Wike still holds a huge influence in that state, politically and all of that. What will you say to people who actually hold this view that his influence continues to loom very large within the state?
Yes, Sumner, I think that is what is still happening, because before we left Port Harcourt City to go monitor the election in some other local government areas, we ran into his convoy. That was immediately after he exercised his franchise at Rumukberikon. That's the pronunciation of that name that got your tongue twisted. Rumukberikon, area of Obiakpo local government area. As soon as he exercised his franchise, the FCT minister was all over the city. He was monitoring the election process, and you need to see the convoy. If somebody says that he still does have a very good hold on his structure, the political structure in this state, what that person is not making a mistake, because whether you like it or not, give it to him. He's one man who is a grassroots man. He knows how to play the Rivers politics, and he's got his army of political hangers-on who are always around him. That he exhibited again today. So to refer to him as the Governor General of Rivers State, I think is not misplaced. It's the kind of political influence that the FCT minister has continued to wield even till throughout today's election and the days to come, because I don't think I have seen anybody who want to challenge that for now, except they are still gilding their lions.
All right, we must thank you so much, Andy Omano. Omano providing us details from that outcome of the Rivers State local government elections that's holding at the moment. The elections ended at 4 p.m. and collation is ongoing, and we will be awaiting results. And of course, the politics behind it, and of course, we didn't see the sole administrator himself, moving around, but we've heard that FCT Minister Nyesom Wike went round, and the former governor, Fubara, was not cited by journalists. But we all hope it ends well.